The reason behind choosing this webinar or a session is we meet a lot of people, we talk with a lot of scholars who are either planning to start their doctorate journey or even are a part of doctorate journey. So they face certain challenges while starting their journey. So the distractions, certain thoughts they come across during this journey, considering all those thoughts, we have selected the, I would say, this session. We are hoping and expecting it brings an enlightenment in your journey. At times, we have seen scholars feel very depressing. So, to add a little motivation by the expert, this session is planned. Now, I would be updating and giving you a small introduction about Dr. Bhavna. Dr. Bhavna is basically a PhD in management from IASE University, Rajasthan, and a doctorate in management from UCAM University, Spain. And she is currently working as a senior vice president in Exceed College, Dubai, Sharjah. So the agenda about this, I would say, session is providing more clarity on PhD, the entire process, your academic expectations, and this journey, and making this journey a successful execution. So, of course, she'll be helping us how to do all of these. Now, I'll be handing over the session to Dr. Bhavna. She'll be helping us and she'll be guiding us on the same.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Bhavna. Thank you, Kashish, for handing over and for such a generous introduction. Do you want me to wait for some more time or should we begin with the session?
I think we can start with the session.
Okay.
Right.
So, perfect. So, good afternoon, everyone. And I am Dr. Bhavna. As Kashish has already introduced, I would just like to give you a little more information that I am the Senior Vice President for Admissions and Business for a college here in UAE, and I'm glad that I was chosen to talk about the PhD vision to, I would say, vision to mission kind of a journey with uh, you people, wherein I know that most of you would be um, quite experienced and senior, maybe in terms of experience, professional experience, as well as the age. But I would try my best to, convey and give you insights on how I was able to complete two doctorates alongside my work, and how I made this overwhelming journey possible for myself. And maybe we both, or we all, can learn from each other, and that is what the expectation is from the session. So without any further delay, I would just like to share my screen. I have not prepared something very big, or something which is which probably you consider that another strain on your mind, because you're already going through a lot of academic related work, which is research and your literature review and stuff. I'm assuming that we have both type of audience: those who are already enrolled for the PhD program, the scholars, and those probably who are considering doing this program as well. So I would be addressing both the audience types. But if there is anything specific somebody wants me to talk about or touch base upon, please feel free to ask, or feel free to message in the chat box. So I will now just share. So is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, it's
Yes, ma'am.
visible.
It's visible. Okay, perfect. So, we came up with this particular topic of mastering the art of the PhD program from vision to execution because you have a lot of hand holding already from your supervisors, maybe from your mentors and from your colleagues and all of that. But I want to talk about the real life challenge when you are actually doing the program, or maybe when you are about to decide to do this program. Before I do that, Kashish, just one thing: when I'm sharing my screen, only the screen is visible, but my picture or something is not showing. So is that okay? Because then I cannot see anyone. Is there
Uh,
any setting as such from your end?
so you want, I mean, while showing the presentation, you want us to have you as well?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so I'll ask my technical team if they can help me on the same.
Correct, correct. Just a second, even let me also try if I can do it from my end. Uh, okay, let me see. I don't think it is showing up. Okay, maybe. Okay, I think let's not delay it because
Right. I think this is the only possible way. What I think that you can, I mean, show the presentation.
yeah, I am. But let me see if I have the tabs here. It is showing me some options. Just a second. Alright. I think let it be like this because people are waiting and we shouldn't be taking much of the time. Okay, fine. So, as I was saying, that we decided to take this topic because a lot of people will talk about different things, but nobody will actually talk about the real life challenge of actually deciding, first of all, to do a PhD program. And if you're already doing it, then how to maneuver in a smoother way throughout this journey. So first of all, I know, people would be hesitant in talking or interacting initially, but this is just to reflect in your mind that why do you want a PhD? If, again, as I said, if you're already doing it or if you're deciding to do it, so please reflect on the reason of doing it and what changes do you expect. So there could be many reasons of doing it. Some people do it for career progression, some people do it for prestige, some people do it as they believe that this is going to add um, uh, you know a stature to their whatever studies or career path which they have chosen. So please reflect on why do you want to do the PhD and what changes do you expect, because only when you are aware of the clear outcome of what you want to do, you will be able to, give in your 100%. Otherwise, in between the journey, you might feel lost. So this is really important for you to reflect on why do you want to do it. So because we will not be able to interact, I have put in this for my PhD journey and why I started and how I started. So I would be, talking about why I decided to pursue, and maybe, I don't know, you might have similar reasons or you might have totally different reasons, and the fears and doubts I had and what pushed me to start. So I have a very funny story of deciding to do my PhD, because it was not done for the reason of studying further or to add anything to my career progression. Actually, my parents always wanted me to become a doctor, as my brother also is a doctor, and all the Indian parents probably always think like this, right? That if someone is studious or has scored well, then that person should either go to a medical field or engineering field. I'm glad that perspective is changing now, but obviously, even when I was studying, my parents, my grandparents had that mindset, but I was never interested in, going into that field. But I promised my parents that I will add a doctor title to my name, and that's how my PhD journey started. And um, first, obviously, I wanted to complete my formal education. So I did my graduation, then I did my MBA, and then just after my MBA, when I started working, that's when I decided that I want to pursue my PhD as well, along with my work. So I was quite young at that time. I was just probably 2021 when I took this decision of doing a PhD, which was, a very big decision. And to do it alongside my work was also really taxing. So when I took the decision, I was really young. So I just decided that I want to do PhD because I want to add the doctor title. But when I started my journey, I had a lot of fears and doubts that what if I'm not able to complete? What if, I spend so much money and time and still I'm not able to succeed? So all these fears and doubts were there. But as and when I, encountered those issues, I took it step by step. So I will be talking about that as well, because maybe the reason of starting your PhD journey would be different than mine, but the journey is going to be the same. Everybody will probably have the same kind of journey who's going through this um, particular pathway. So I have already talked about that, why I decided to pursue and what pushed me to start. So I always had that mindset that I want a title, but the fears and doubts were also overwhelming. And how I encountered those things in my journey, I will be further talking about that. So this is my journey, the reality check, which is emotional highs and lows. So obviously, when the first year of the coursework were examinations, and since it was quite related to what I studied in my MBA, I was able to score really well. So that was my emotional high. When I started the journey, I felt okay, it is quite easy because this is what I have studied in my MBA. So in PhD as well, there are different segments. So I did my PhD in management, and then others will have their own sectors. It could be in education, it could be in science, it could be in art. So there are different streams. So my stream was management, and just because after completing my MBA, I decided to do PhD. It was somewhat easy for me because I had that touch with the education which I studied in MBA. So I didn't lose that touch. So while giving the first year coursework examinations, I was able to score well, and that was emotional high for me. But again, as in when I approached towards proposal submission, or looking for thesis, or the looking for literature review and getting the questionnaire filled, and researching on the topic and writing the thesis as such, a lot of time there were so many rejections. A lot of time people refused to respond to the questionnaires. So that was the emotional lows. So again, as I said, you will also have those emotional highs and lows. We all will have the same journey, but it depends on how are you going to deal with that journey or deal with those situations while being in that journey. There were a lot of unexpected challenges, obviously, because as I mentioned that I was working, and moreover I was working in sales, so I had two pressures and two stress at a time. So I was working in sales and I had to meet my targets, my budget, my revenues, and at the same time, I had so many deadlines for submission of the topic, submission of the proposal, submission of so many things. So there were unexpected challenges wherein sometimes I was not able to fulfill my job related targets or job related expectations, and sometimes I was not able to fulfill my academic related, my study related targets. So that is going to happen, so this is expected. And rather than making it overwhelming for you, you should keep calm and think that since you have started, it was your choice, and you should stay strong till the end and deal with this with a positive mindset. Now, talking about the third point, which is the marathon mindset. So, I understand and I know till date, I am this kind of a person that I get really excited when I want to do something. And I'm sure most of the people are like this, that initially we are really excited about doing something and we give in full energy. So, PhD is not a 6 months or a 1 year or a 2 years course. It is a journey of 5 years. So we should and we have to develop a marathon mindset, which means that we cannot invest in our full energy in the beginning itself. We have to create that resilience and endurance. We know that we might have to preserve that energy for each step, because it is not going to end at proposal submission, it is not going to end at questionnaire or data collection, it is not going to end at literature review. It is a whole set of things which you would be doing over the 5 years. So we have to preserve our energy and do it with a marathon mindset, wherein yes, wherever, whenever it is required, we have to give our 100%, but we don't have to invest everything in the beginning itself. So take it easy, take it time by time, take it step by step. Now, these are the three pillars that kept me going, and I believe these are the three pillars for anyone to keep going in this journey, which is discipline over motivation, which again is related to what I just talked about. So, having a discipline over motivation means that I could be motivated today to do a lot of things, and I might start as well, but I will not be doing it again tomorrow or day after. So that is something which we have to be careful of. We should have a discipline over motivation, and that doesn't just apply in studies. This applies for anything and everything we do. So if I decided that despite my job, despite doing a 9 hour shift or a 10 hour shift in the office, I will come back home and invest 1 or 2 hours of research, or I will study. I created that discipline and I followed it, rather than being motivated only on weekends and study full day, because that is not possible. Even my body and my mind needs that time to recover during that full week of work. So discipline over motivation is very much important. Talking about time structuring, again, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are juggling between work and studies. So, time structuring is really important, and I would be talking about a very good theory, a matrix which will help you to structure your time. That how much should I be investing on a particular thing and my work. So obviously, your work is equally important than your studies. So we have to decide that how much time we are going to invest on everything. Third most important thing was the support system. I 200% believe that without the support, you cannot achieve anything in life. So I was not alone in this journey. My parents, my husband, my in-laws, everybody supported me throughout. And I remember even for data collection, I mean, um, I don't know if that would be right to even share, but even for data collection, my family helped me. So the topic of my PhD was covert advertising in Bollywood movies, and I chose this topic because I first of all studied this in my MBA, and also that was the topic of my interest. So I remember standing outside the movie halls to collect that data along with my family. So I had an amazing support system, and because of which I was able to complete my PhD on time. So it was bang on in 5 years that I completed it. And, it is because of all these things which I followed during my journey. And I am sharing all this with you because I feel I was successful in doing it because of this, that I was so motivated to even do another doctorate which I recently completed along with my this job in UAE and taking care of family and a baby. So if I can do it, I mean anyone can do it. So it's not about me or you. It is about your mindset. Uh, I will be talking about balancing work and PhD. I have already touched base on these things, but still, I would like to, talk a little bit more on these points, which is weekly planning. So it is really important. I know and I remember my college days and my school days, wherein again I used to be so motivated that I will prepare a calendar and I will jot down everything. I will do this, I will do that. So that sometimes doesn't work because it is just one time excitement. So we have to actually plan and follow it. So this is the reason I said discipline over motivation is more important than just the motivation. So a weekly planning, whether you are just a student or you are working as well as studying, you have to have a planning in mind. Either you devote uh, your time in studies before you go to work or after you come back, and at the same time you should have a weekend strategy. I understand everybody has family commitments and other commitments, but if you really want to complete this on time and if you really want to achieve this title of doctorate, you have to have a strategy and planning in place, and at the same time you have to set boundaries. So I remember and I know that how I decided to set boundaries in terms of work as well as with my friends and relatives, that weekends I used to keep alternate weekends, wherein one weekend I will not go out anywhere and I will only study, and the other weekend I used to spend time with my family. So you have to have these planning and strategies, and setting these boundaries, and communicating expectations in terms of you have to have a clear expectation and understanding from your supervisor and with your supervisor. So which means that if you are working, or again, why I'm emphasizing on working, because when you're working it becomes little more challenging to manage both. uh, because I was working, I used to connect online with my supervisor and discuss about the expectations which he had for me, and I also had for the kind of support I was seeking from my supervisor. So you need to have a clear and set expectations with your supervisor, with your family, and along and also with your colleagues or your boss or your reporting line at work. I was very clear while working as well that I'm doing my PhD and I will not be able to devote any time after my working hours or during my weekends, though I know I was working in sales and it was required. But again, because I set these expectations clearly, my entire family, as well as I would say my professional family as well, supported me in this. And towards the end of my PhD thesis submission, I took a break because I moved to UAE, and that time for 4 to 5 months, I was completely devoted and I wanted to take that break to submit it and move on to a next job, because managing everything, moving, relocating to a different place actually became a little challenging. So, as I said, everybody will have different set of challenges, but the journey is going to be the same. So, as I was mentioning, in terms of time management, in terms of decision, in terms of managing stress, in terms of work life balance, better decision making, this is Eisenhower decision matrix, which I apply till date in not just my work, not just my studies, not just these things, even in my personal life. So, this is a matrix which I would suggest everybody to please once try to understand about this metrics, and you will feel that yes, this is really helping a lot. So this matrix has on the x-axis as important and not important, and y-axis as urgent and not urgent. So anything which is important and urgent, you have to do it immediately. That is the green box, which is important and urgent. So which means if you are at work, if you have your work commitments, but at the same time you have your deadline of submitting your proposal, let's say, and you have to balance between both, and you feel that your submission is important as well as urgent because the deadline will be missed, you have to do that first. You have to prioritize that first. Something which is not urgent but important, maybe your work related stuff which is not urgent but important, obviously you have to schedule it. So you will schedule that thing for a later time, not beyond a certain timeline, of course, because that is important. So you have to schedule it after, let's suppose, you submit your proposal, you will take care of that. So that is how you schedule something which is important but not urgent. Something which is not important but urgent, probably you take care of your household and you are the person who takes care of everything at home. And something which is not important but urgent could be paying your electricity bill, or buying grocery and stuff like that. That is not important for you but is urgent, because obviously you will not have electricity if you don't pay the bill on time, or you will not be able to cook if you do not have groceries on time. That you have to delegate. You can delegate it to your whosoever is at home. That delegation is required at that time. You have to understand that you cannot do everything on your own. This time when you are doing your PhD, you have to strategize. And the way of strategizing is this. And as I said, I have used this metrics till date for all the things in my life. Something which is not important and not urgent could be watching reels on Instagram, spending time online watching stuff. You have to eliminate that. So that is not important and not urgent. So please eliminate that till the time you don't achieve what you want to achieve. Talking about the emotional curve, so we all go through this emotional curve during our journey, which would be excitement, like I shared. When I cleared my first year of coursework, I was excited. I was confused when there were a lot of jargons in my PhD which I was not able to understand. I was confused when there were so many statistical methods which were, which I was supposed to use to do the calculation and derive the results and data. I was overwhelmed when obviously I realized that the thesis has to be at least these many number of words and these many pages. So it actually, all these emotional aspects which I'm talking about, you all will go through this in your journey, and it is same for each one of us. The level could be different, maybe your excitement level could be less or more, but we all will have the same emotional curve throughout our journey. Breakthrough, when my proposal was accepted, I was, it was a breakthrough moment whenever my supervisor appreciated me, or when my paper was accepted, I had that confidence. And then
पापा खाने बहुत
obviously,
मजा आता है.
sorry, is there anything somebody wants to ask? Okay. Talking about was it worth it? Yes, 200%. Because it helped me with my personal growth, it lifted my confidence, and it increases your professional credibility. So I would just like to share another personal, story or a journey, you can say, with you. That I was a hotelier. I was working with Hyatt Hotels Corporation in India. And when I moved to UAE, I was not able to find something relevant in my industry, and everybody was looking for some local experience and all of that. It was because of my PhD that I found something in the education sector. I had to restart my career, but just because I was doing a PhD, I got a chance because they considered me as a, person who is serious towards academia. And from that time to now, within 7 years of my professional journey, I have reached a level of senior vice president for a college. So definitely your PhD is going to give you a personal growth, a professional credibility, and a confidence boost. This much that I acquired another doctorate because I felt that today, when I speak to anyone, or for that matter, for any professional connection, my salutation of doctor really helps me, and it makes me stand out from others who even have more number of years of experience than me, because I have gone through a rigorous academic journey for 5 years. So that brings in a lot of credibility to your profile. Why you should consider a PhD? Someone who has not taken that decision. This is for that person. This is for your personal transformation. It will change you. Uh, I would say maybe if not 360 degree, at least 180 degrees, because you would be juggling with so many things in your personal life, in your professional life, your work, as well as this PhD journey, that it will bring in, like how we, like how it is said that when you are a parent and you are dealing with your kids, you become patient. So similarly, when you are doing this, it is a journey of 5 years. You will see a lot of patience, endurance coming in your personality. Strategic thinking, obviously, because you already have to strategize so much to fulfill this journey, that it will develop your strategic thinking. Opening new doors. I am very sure that a lot of people are actually thinking of doing it, or are doing it because they want new career opportunities, or they want progression in their life. So, your PhD roadmap is you should have a clear purpose, definitely. Then only I would advise that you should choose to continue this journey, because without a purpose, even a life is not meaningful. So, definitely you should have a purpose of why do you want to do this PhD. Then choose a meaningful topic, because only if you have a meaningful topic, you will be able to complete this journey. Because studying something for 5 years, collecting data, doing your research, writing thesis, literature review, if you do not choose a meaningful topic to which you can relate to, you will not be able to do it, with that satisfaction and with that mindset. So please choose a meaningful topic to which you can actually relate, and you uh, will be able to do justice to that. Pick the right university. So you are already if you are already doing it, if you are thinking of doing it, please do your research. These people are the right people to coach you regarding what kind of university and which suits your timeline, your budget, your lot of other factors. Create a routine. Will have to create a routine for sure, because this is going to bring a very big change in your uh, daily routine. So you have to create a routine for everything. You cannot compromise on one thing to fulfill another thing. So you have to create a routine. Progress over perfection. So progress over perfection is really important, because again, as I said, it's a long journey. If we will strive for perfection, which we should, I'm not denying that we should not, but perfection from early stages itself will not lead you anywhere. You will only reach half of it and you will feel exhausted. So, progress over perfection is very much important. You need to progress. You have to progress from one chapter to another, rather than just spending too much time on one thing itself. So, progress over perfection is definitely required. So we are towards the end of the session. So as I said, you don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to be consistent. So you have to be consistent to complete your journey. Thank you so much. Any questions anybody has, and your journey awaits you if you have not started yet.
It was a very wonderful and a knowledgeable session, I would say. You have really guided us, and I mean, I will say on behalf of everyone, you have actually guided all of us in case anybody who's planning to start their journey. I hope and I think it's going to add definitely a right decision to their journey. I have few questions. We'll see. I mean, if we have scholars, if in case they are planning to, I mean, raise any questions, they can directly even ask. Otherwise, I have few questions from the scholars, from the people I talk on daily basis. I would be, I mean, coming through those questions. I hope and I think by those questions, a lot of us are answered with the thoughts or maybe the doubts we have. So anybody who wants to ask any questions directly, you're most welcome. It's okay. So I would like to understand one thing. A lot of, I mean, scholars who are planning or who are about to start their journey, they are always confused about the supervisor or guide. They always have a doubt, what if we are not rightly coordinated with the supervisor or guide? How exactly our journey is going to be? I mean, in that case. So how do you, I mean, suggest one, I mean, one should keep that motivation in what all things one should keep in their mind.
Okay, so actually, it's a very valid question. Even I had these hiccups initially when the supervisors were assigned to me. In fact, I had a change in my supervisor, because one supervisor was allotted to me, and then she left the organization, and then I had another one. So I would just say a simple thing, that few things are not in your control. We do not choose certain things in our life, like just to give you an example. It's a very I would say unfair comparison, but like how we do not choose our parents, right? But we still believe in them. We still know that whatever they are going to do for us would be the best. So similarly, we also have to trust our supervisors and our guides, and not have any confusion in mind regarding their intent. So whatever come across your journey, you take it positively, so that you do not feel obstructed or overwhelmed at any given point of time. So take it as it comes.
All right. It was a very, I mean, a good tip and trick for all of us. Now, I have like one more question. A lot of us, I mean, face these questions very frequently, that how to finalize or how to choose a research topic. I mean, people have interest doing PhD, but still they are confused. I mean, choosing the right title or topic for the same. So any tip or trick for the same as well?
Correct. So, I have touched based upon this particular thing during the session as well. So, something which actually is, close to you, which you think you have interest in. So, as I mentioned that when I was doing my MBA, I did a small project in covert advertising in Bollywood movies, and I am a Bollywood freak. So I was so excited to do it that I chose the same topic for my PhD as well. And I convinced my supervisor that I want to do my research on this particular topic because I know I have to spend 5 years studying this. So we have to choose something which we know that we will be able to relate to, or we will be able to justify it. It should not happen that we choose something which we have no idea about, because then we will be struggling for 5 years. It is, again, I'm emphasizing, it is not something which you will be tied to only for a few months or 1 or 2 years. This is something for which you will be responsible and you will be tied to for 5 years. So keep that in mind whenever choosing your topic. Definitely, your supervisor will also help to refine that title. But whatever comes to your mind, whatever your and also, yes, one more thing which probably can help you decide is your area of work. So if you are working in a particular industry, or you are working, or if you are teaching, so please try to relate it to that, because that will help you write your thesis, that will help you to collect your data as well, because all these things are interrelated. If you choose something extraordinary for which you will not be able to collect data, for which you will not be able to find literature review, for which you will not be able to write your thesis, again it will become challenging and overwhelming. So it is advisable that you choose something which is very much in your control, which is your area of expertise, so that it becomes easy for you to write your thesis as well. So please choose a topic which helps you uh, you know uh, take over your PhD journey and not create overwhelming experience for you.
Right, very well said. And I mean, I would like to understand one more thing while collecting the data. So how do you suggest like one should be motivated? Because a lot many times we feel demotivated when we don't get the right data, we don't get the right source, we don't get the right people. So I mean that's one phase wherein there are a lot of lows. How do you suggest like we should, or how do you say we should focus at? And I mean, how can you suggest on this part of the journey?
Look, so collection of data is a very crucial part of your thesis, because rest of the material actually you are going to probably find from books, from journals, from internet, from a lot of other resources, right? It is kind of secondary data which you are going to get for your thesis and for your other write up. But primary data, which is your collection of data, your questionnaires and all of this, holds a very very important role in your thesis as well as the results. So if you're really serious of actually working on something and researching on something, you have to make sure that you are collecting that primary data with utmost seriousness, because then only you will be able to prove something, or then only you will be able to get something out of that research. So yes, it can be overwhelming because you have to ask people to fill those questionnaires, but I can vouch, I can tell you 100% that the time when I did my PhD, which was almost 10 years back, we had to actually stand and request people to do it. Now there are so many different modes of doing it. Internet has made it so easy that you can email people, you can contact people on LinkedIn, you can contact people on you can create Google forms. it has become so easy that you can send Google Forms, and we all are in so many WhatsApp groups. But definitely, you have to first of all define your demographics and everything before sending it. But as compared to what it was, it has become really easy now to collect the data. So use all these resources which are readily available online, and use these resources to actually process your data as well.
Understood. You have very well explained every detail with your personal experience as well. I hope and I believe every one of us actually have, understood and got the maximum of this session. But still, do you think any special tip and trick can help? I mean, the scholar who are just in plan to start with, I mean, any motivation? Because initial phase is, I mean, something wherein a person gets struck the most, because that's the most, I mean, that's the decision making, of course, step or the phase. So any special trick or maybe any motivation you think can work for the one who are just or about to start with the journey?
I would like to cater to both those who are in this journey and those who are thinking of starting this journey. Something which is coming to my mind for people who are in this journey is, again, I am someone who always related to my personal life experiences. It is not just related to academic, but other things as well. So I have read it somewhere and I imply it in my daily routine also, that whatever you are doing, uh, you know human beings are meant to do this. So basically, whatever you are doing, you have to reward yourself. Maybe you will not get rewarded from others, but how are you going to reward yourself? So if you decide that I'm going to finish this, set a timeline for it, and when you finish that task as per that timeline, please reward yourself. You can decide that, okay, I will take a break, or I will go out and watch a movie if I will be finishing this by this particular day. If you do that and you reward yourself, you will feel accomplished, you will feel that you have achieved something, because obviously you will not receive appreciation at every step of your journey. So you have to appreciate yourself, you have to reward yourself to keep your motivation up and high for you to sustain in this journey. So this is what comes to my mind, because again, I follow this for maybe my workouts or for my diet as well, that I reward myself, because this is how I have to keep myself motivated, right? So same applies to your academic journey as well. If you have worked really hard for days and weeks and months, please take a break and go watch a movie or go for a shopping spree or whatever you like to do, right? Now someone who is still in the deciding phase, you, as I mentioned very clearly, that you have to first of all decide the aim of doing it. I understand that PhD is not an easy decision, and this is something which you obviously do after you complete your formal education, wherein you are already done with your graduation and masters. So there is basically not a major need also of doing it, but this will make you stand out for sure in your professional journey, in your personal growth as well. Because I have experienced that in my life. Coming from a completely different hotel and sales background, I was able to reach this level because I had a PhD. Though I was never able to use those learnings honestly, because my PhD was more of a academic journey. That's how I decided to do a doctorate also. But your learning will never go waste in your life. Sooner later, in future, this is definitely going to help you. It is a tough decision, but if you have a clear mindset, if you have a goal in life, then you should take this step forward to fulfill it. I know a lot of people. In fact, today itself, I was counseling one person for doing a doctorate program, and that person was 70 years old. Imagine, at 70 years, having four PhDs already. That person had four PhDs already, was still motivated to do a fifth one at the age of 70. So I don't know what can stop you at this particular age, or at this particular stage of your life. So if someone at that age is still motivated to study further even after having so many professional accolades, I think if you have even inquired or thought of doing it, now is the time you should take that step and move forward.
Very beautifully said that nothing goes waste. I mean, learning never go waste. You have very well explained. I believe and I think all of us would be totally agreeing with all the thoughts you have presented here. And I would again ask if anybody has any question to ask with, I mean, you can go ahead with that. Otherwise, you can raise your questions with the ordinates or subordinates you are, I mean, dealing with. You just can come up with any queries you have to them as well.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. This side
Hi,
Anil
good
Singh
evening.
Dabula.
Yes, Mr.
I have a
Anil.
question, ma'am, because I am a scholar, and I will doing job actually. So how will I balance the job and research? Can you give some suggestions so that can
De-
I can pursue my PhD very easily?
Definitely, definitely, Mr. Anil. As I mentioned, that I was also someone who was doing my job, and that too was a very taxing job of sales, and side by side doing my PhD. So you have to have clear, timelines for everything. You have to set a weekly planner. You should have a weekend plan. You should have, set timelines for everything. Only then you will be able to complete this journey. You have to make sure that you, wherever you are working, you keep them also informed that you are doing this, so that they also understand and they can also equally support you in this journey. Because even I have taken that support while doing my research. I, in fact, used my office people for data collection, so they were also my respondents. Okay, so this way it actually, when you know and when you tell people, I understand a lot of people hesitate in doing that, but what I have seen in my professional life, that people always have this innate nature of helping. So if you will share this with your colleagues, with your whosoever is your reporting line, they will definitely try to extend a helping hand to you. And from your side, you have to be, as I mentioned, you have to be disciplined. So you're already motivated, you have already taken that step and you're doing it. But now discipline is something which you have to bring in your day to day. That if I you have decided to dedicate a certain time, you have to make sure that you, even if you have to get up early and do it, you have to do it. So I would just like to say something which once my mother-in-law mentioned, that sleeping and eating is something which you can, you know increase it to infinity and decrease it to minimal. So if I develop a habit of sleeping for 5 hours, that 5 hours is enough for me to be active throughout the day. If I will develop a habit of sleeping for 12 hours, even after 12 hours, I will feel tired. So, my why I'm mentioning this to you, that even if you are at work and you're not able to get enough time, then you have to start getting up early and start working on your thesis, because this has to be your priority alongside your work. So if you have family, if you have other commitments, you will have to find out that alone time for yourself wherein you can work on your thesis. So you have to bring in this discipline in your day-to-day routine.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I am very thankful to you for your availability for the session, for all the knowledge you have shared with us. I believe every one of us is motivated and feel really optimistic after the session. If anything or any query anybody has, of course, we'll be bringing or raising and we'll be asking you. But at the moment, I would think and I would say that we can wrap up the session because a lot of, I mean, insights has been shared by you, and it has been a very deliberately insightful session, which actually motivated every one of us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I would just like to mention one thing before we end this session, that we are research scholars and we have to be inquisitive. So please, if you would be so silent, if you do not have that mindset of asking questions, then your journey of PhD, in which you have to collect data and ask questions to your respondents, is also going to be there. So please be inquisitive, keep asking questions, not just to me, I mean, um, to whosoever you come across, your supervisor, your colleagues, your other PhD scholars. Please, the more you ask, the more you are going to learn. So even, at this level, uh, from my team members, I ask questions so that I can also learn. So this is my advice, that you have to be inquisitive, you have to ask questions, because you never know that from where you can have a learning. So that learning will always add up to your experience.
Right. If anybody feels hesitant, maybe you just can come up in the chat box. You just can raise your queries and concern over there as well. I can bring up your maybe any questions, any sort of query to, I mean, Dr. Bhavna, and she can help you with the concern thought.
So even after this session, if there is
Good
anything
evening,
anybody
ma'am.
wants to, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Sadanand Mato from Jharkhand.
Yes, Mr. Sadanand.
My subject is ophthalmology, ma'am. That is
Okay.
medical subject. जी.
Okay.
My question is that ma'am, either we select topic from our interest or guide's interest.
No, it should be from your interest, because guide is
जी,
not
जी,
going to write your thesis. You are going to write your
जी,
thesis. So the topic has to
जी,
be from your interest, but definitely guide will help you to, restructure your title in a way that you are able to contribute. Because sometimes you
जी,
want to do something for which there is not enough research done, then yes, people do that as well, but you will not
जी,
be able to source enough information to write your
जी,
thesis. So the title has to be your interest.
जी, जी, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you would just, I mean, adding up the about your maybe professional contact information. If still anybody has any doubt or concern, they may contact you through that as well.
Sure, I will just add my email ID here, and if somebody wants to connect and ask me anything, they are free to do so. I have added my email ID in the chat box, and you are
Perfect.
free to get in touch. And I'm available on LinkedIn as well. If somebody wants to connect there, I'm I will be more than happy to.
Right. I think it's visible to all, and anybody who would require your, I mean, information can directly have it from there.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on this. And I'm someone who loves to talk about, who loves to share through my personal experience. So I am equally happy that I was invited for this session.
Same here. It
Thank
was
you.
really, I mean, very, very helpful for us. So I hope and I believe it adds a value to every one of us along with you. Thank you so much for your time and availability. Thank you,
Thank
Thank
Dr.
you,
you.
Bhavna.
ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.